Desi and Romina kindly allowed us to publish their speaking test timed practice. 3 minutes for the oral presentation and 4 minutes for the interaction. The speaking test practice is not about evaluating students' level, but about students furthering their learning of English. That is why every 2 or 3 people get a copy of an old exam in April, work on it following the C1 Resource Pack methodology. You can download it at talkingpeople.net in class C1 course, and then share their work in class in May. This video shows an example of what we do in class in May and what the speaking test is like in June. In exams, students are allowed to use an outline, keywords, not sentences or narratives, in their oral presentation, the monologue, it's called, and need to improvise in the interaction, and that's the dialogue. Speaking file. Students in class take notes on useful language for the given tasks and ideas for addressing the topic. They also pay attention to structure and the use of communicative strategies, all of which has been worked on during the year. For audio videos by students practicing our AOE speaking tests, check out the Vimeo channel AOE Teacher Sharing C1 Work. And for videos on oral presentations by students and other kinds of work we do in class, this is the right place. The C1 playlist at EFL Learners Speaking English on YouTube, and we also have our guest speakers playlist. Just a note to mention a relevant issue. We only have 1 year to prepare the advanced level, and this is not the best learning scenario. I'm not editing this video to jot down mistakes. They did make some. But these students passed in June and did even better then. When you hear the bell, you have 1 more minute to finish. Okay? Okay. So, ready, set, action.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Desi and I'm going to speak about pros and cons of having internet on the mobile phones. I'd like to start my presentation making you a little question. Do you consider internet connectivity in mobile devices nowadays more of a luxury than a necessity? Well, just an introductory detail. At the end of year 2015, a number of mobile lines subscribers equalized or were the same than the number of inhabitants of the planet. One and only 7,300 millions of human beings connected. Advantages on having internet on our mobile phones nowadays seem to be as obvious that we have normalized its everyday use with no holds barred. Obviously, you can stay connected 24 hours per day, 7 days per week with family, friends, co-worker. Mobile applications have developed impressive in communication in real time. A further advantage would be the searching on the internet. No matter where you are or what you are looking for, just enter the web story and click for the answer, and the world of possibilities will be given to you. Another important advantage of the internet on our mobile devices is that most of people increasingly use their mobiles currently for work or studies. Although this last advantage could also be a great disadvantage, because do we know, or point against, do we know how to disconnect? So the first advantage I'd like to point would be the real and dangerous addiction some people developed in relation to their mobiles or other electronic devices. And mainly young people, and maybe with regards to youngsters. Young people are allowed to bring their mobiles almost everywhere, and even in detriment to their creativity. A further common disadvantage, independently on the age of the user, is that I think would be it would hinder or complicate the social relationabilities. Nowadays, some people people are unable to interact each other. Last one would be the lack of concentration derived for a constant attention on our mobiles or our electronic devices. We are continuously being distracted from what's happening in real world everywhere and every time. To conclude, although I must admit that I have mixed feelings on this topic, the reality is that majority of people is accessing the web using their mobile phones or using the internet on their mobile phones. And as always, it's a question of freedom in all kinds of senses. And that's all.
Wow. Action. Good evening, my name is Romina and I am going to talk about instant credit loans. Well, in the first place, I would like to explain what an instant credit loan is. There are two different ways to obtain money to buy things for you. The traditional banks, credit loans, and these instant credit loans. The difference between them is that mainly because traditional bank loans are very more difficult to obtain. If you want some credit from a bank, you need to go through an economical study, and they're not very easy to obtain. And on the other hand, the interest rate is lower. In the instant credit loans, it's much easier to obtain money, and obviously the interest rate is higher than the traditional ones. In my opinion, this kind of loans, it's one of the main responsibles of the economical crisis today, because this kind of credit loans permits people to have money that they cannot pay back. This is always increased by the retailers, who are always creating new needs for us every little time. You need to change your mobile phone every year, you need to change your clothes, you need to have new shoes, you need to change your car, everything you have to change it even before it's old. So you're always needing new money. And as I said, in my opinion, this is the reason of a lot of families crashing down in their economical balance. So, oh my, I just ran out of ideas. Well, to sum up, I have to say that I've never used this kind of loans, and I really think they should be only left for extreme situations and never to pay our everyday life. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you. everyday expenses. Everyday.
Hello, we both, Romina and me, are going to decide the best movie in a film festival. I like comedians, and Romina, what do you like?
The war one.
Okay, let's see. Hello, Romina, how are you? Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, it's not an easy task what we are working on this weekend, isn't it?
No, it's very difficult.
Wow, how to decide the best movie? The level this year has been extraordinarily high, don't you think so?
Very, very high. I think it's one of the best years from the last 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, get on with it. How do you think? I expect we can reach an agreement today. It's true, there are great films in competition this year, but a solid candidate, in my opinion, would be the Spanish movie Kiki el amor se hace. Do you agree? I mean, I know it's a comedy, but it's not usually rewarded in this kind of festivals, but it's so gracefully refreshing, and it was highly highlighted by the audience.
Oh yes, it's true. The audience liked it very, very, very much. Yes, it's a very good movie. I think it's really funny. It's very, very well directed. The actors are great. And I think it's a really great movie, but it's true, we are not used to seeing these kind of movies in this kind of film contest. And I must say I really liked most the war film. I know that films about war are typical, but I think it's the best film in the contest.
You know, really. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't agree with you. I don't agree with you, no at all. The movie, war movie this year is not very interesting, I think. Well, obviously the cast is great. The set is wonderfully located, but the plot, I feel the plot decreases as the movie progresses, and sometimes it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to follow at times. Don't you think so?
Well, that might be true. I must admit that it's quite slowly from the half of the film to the end. It's a bit slow, and it's really, you have to be really concentrated, because it's true that it's very complicated. But I think that finally the director sorts it out very well, and I think the message it gives, it's very, very important and very nice. I also love the music, the soundtrack, with the action.
Yeah,
I think it's really, really great.
It's true, the soundtrack is also great. I don't know, I think we should take some risks, Romina. The Spanish movie brings us some people's disorders from a hilarious point of view, and they created it's so amazing that I think we have to give the comedy an opportunity in this contest.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should give an opportunity to comedies. And because it's not very, very often to see comedies receiving the prize. So I have an idea. What do you think you would give the prize from this festival to the comedy film? And we can, I think that these two movies are far too good from the rest. So I think that we can give the first prize to the comedy film, and then create like an accessory to the other film.
That's almost.
Because I think the rest of the films are not at the same level.
Fantastic! I completely agree with you, Romina.
That's perfect.
We're reaching the agreement.
Great, perfect. Okay. Well, that was great to talk to you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.